Hello and welcome. Myself, Professor Vikash Kataria. And you are watching lecture number 9, subject operating system, subject code 3630003. In this lecture, we are going to cover what is threads, threads functionality, why use threads, types of different threads, advantages of threads, disadvantages of threads, and finally we will talk about the advantages of multi-threads. So let's have a look. The first, what is thread? We can define the term thread in various ways. What is thread? A thread is a sequence of execution within process. So inside the process there may be chance there are certain number of threads can work in between the inside the process. Okay, so thread is a sequence of execution within the process, right? In the second way, we can define threads. It does not have its own address space. So whenever threads created, it does not have any own address space, right? It always point to address which created by the process. So when program become the process context takes the memory into the primary memory. It have the physical address. So threads created inside the process, that's why threads does not have its own address space. It just point or refer to the existing memory address which is engaged by the process context. That's why it does not have its own address space, but uses the memory and other resources of the process in which it creates or executes. Okay, threads are sometimes called lightweight process. Why it is called lightweight process? Because inside a single process there may be number of threads may be exist. So process itself is a heavyweight process because it have own context, it has own text, data and stack portion, right? So threads are the lightweight process. Okay, it does not have physical address, it does not engage any memory, right? And the management of thread is also easy as compared to process. That's why it's called the lightweight process. Next definition, we can define the thread like threads independently schedule parts of single program. So threads are independently scheduled. We do not require any such scheduling algorithms. We just apply the scheduling algorithms over the process, and inside the process we have number of threads. It automatically scheduled by the scheduler, right? So threads are independently scheduled. Next definition, we can define threads can be assigned priorities Priority means the order in which threads get scheduled by the CPU. So threads can be assigned priorities. Higher priority threads will get put to the front of the queue. Okay, so threads can be assigned priorities. We can assign a priority number to the threads at the time of creation of thread. 0 means the higher priority and 5 means lower priority. We can assign priority level to a particular thread at the time of designing. Higher priority threads, definitely if we assign a value 0 to a thread, it will comes in the front of queue, so it will schedule first by the CPU. Okay, so this is about the threads, how we can define the term threads. We can take any one of the definition. What is thread actually? Okay, in the second terms, the threads functionality. So let's talk about some functionality of threads. The first functionality threads, that is the states of threads. Thread states. Second is thread synchronization. The both functionality is very important because thread states may be contain 5 different states. As we already talked about the process states, process have the ready, new, ready, running, terminated and suspended, 5 different types of states. In the same way, threads also have 5 different states. So thread also have five different states, as like we already discussed in the last lecture, that is new, ready, running, suspended and terminated. Now second is thread synchronization. As we already talked about, if single process contain the multiple threads, so we have to manage all the threads working in simultaneously within the process. We can take an example. So we can define the term synchronization here. If more than one threads works simultaneously inside the process, so somehow we need to manage all threads. We need to manage all threads inside the process. Right? We can take as an example of VLC player has different threads, like one threads which works on sound, management of sound, another thread, one thread which manages list of songs, and updates it automatically. One thread which manages progress of running songs. So we can take so many different examples over here. So VLC player has different threads. The management of number of threads is called the synchronization. So if any single process contain multiple threads, so somehow we need to manage all the threads, because it working simultaneously, it never be conflict to other data structure of threads. Okay, this is called synchronization. The entire management of threads if they work simultaneously, right? So one thread which works on management of sound based upon the equalizer and treble and bass. The threads works the high and low, up and down, right? The one thread which manages list of songs and update it automatically. As the songs gets finished, the threads will pick up the next songs and put into the running states. In the third thread we can talk about the one thread which manages progress of running songs. Okay, so as soon as the songs gets finished, the new songs should be scheduled into the running state. So this is called the synchronization threads. Okay, next topic which we are going to discuss here: why use threads? So why we use thread? The using thread, it is possible to organize the execution of a program in such a way that something is always being done, right? We cannot put ideal to a CPU. If we do not assign number of threads, number of process to a processor, that means processor gets ideal in their states, and processor gets ideal, that means it generate less throughput. So less throughput, that means less utilization. So we want from CPU that it generate the better throughput, it perform number of tasks, number of threads and number of jobs within the second, so that we get the better utilization of the CPU. So to make the better utilization of threads, CPU, we use threading, right? So something always be running, something has to be done by the CPU, right? So we can define the term why we use thread. Using thread, it is possible to organize the execution of a program in such a way that something is always being done. Okay, so always we assign a job to a process, we assign a task to a processor, that means something always being done. Whenever scheduler gives the heavy weight process to CPU, what might happen is programmer has control over the thread. So programmer has controlled over the thread inside the heavyweight process, threads are scheduled on FCFS manner, first come first serve. Okay, and switching of threads context is not based on kernel, it's depends on user or programmer who creates the threads. Okay, so whenever CPU gives the heavyweight process to the CPU for execution, the first chance may be occur that the programmer has control over the threads. Okay, because programmer creates a thread, so all controlling should done by the programmer. All controlling over the thread should maintained by the programmer. So inside the heavyweight process, it always scheduled in the FCFS manner. Switching of thread context is not based on the kernel because threads created by the programmer. So switching of thread should be maintained by the programmer. Okay, so it does not depend, the switching of context of a thread does not maintained by the kernel. It should be dependent upon the programmer or user who creates the threads. Okay. This is why we use thread. So in short, we can say, to make better utilization of CPU and getting better throughput from the CPU, we prefer threads. This is actual meaning of threads, why we use threads. So to make better utilization of CPU and getting better throughput from the CPU, we prefer threads. This is important terms over here, and this is the reason why we perform the multi-threading, why we need to perform so many threads inside the process, because we want a better utilization of the CPU, or we want a better throughput from the CPU. Here I am using the term throughput, that means number of tasks done within the given unit period of time. Okay, in the next topic, let's have a look. Types of threads. Types of threads. So based upon the communication of threads, maybe one process can have one thread, one process can have multiple threads, multiple process and each process can have a single thread, and multiple process, each process can have multiple threads, right? So we can have multiple processes in the primary memory, and we can also have multiple thread in primary memory. So based upon this scenario, we can classify one process based on one threads, one process but multiple threads, multiple process, each has single thread, and multiple process, each has multiple thread, right? So there are different types of thread. one process can have one thread, one process can have multiple thread, multiple process and each process can have single thread, and multiple process where each process has multiple thread. Based on this scenario, we have the two concepts. First is single threading and multiple or multi-threading. Okay, so let's have a look. Single threading means in the single threading system there is a single process. Each process contain one thread, so one process and one thread associated with the one process. There is one PCB block, there is one user stack, there is one kernel stack. Okay, user have the user address space, right? So there are single PCB, there is single PCB, there is single user address space, there is single user stack, and there is single kernel stack. Okay, this is called single threadings. Now let's talk about the multi-threading. Multi-threading, that means operating system support concept of thread. Operating system also support the concept of multi-thread. Different part of program, different part of process, different part of instance of a single process can execute simultaneously. That is called multi-threading. Okay, so operating system support concept of multi-threading, in which more than one part of instance or a part of instance of single process can be executed in primary memory. Okay, so operating system concept support the concept of multi-threading, in which more than one part of instance of a single process can be executed in primary memory. This is called multi-threading. Okay, in multi-threading we can have number of PCB, we cannot have more than one PCB because multi-threading applied on a single process. I am not talking about the multi-programming where more than one program or process currently executing into the primary memory, right? There is single process having multiple threads. Okay, so threads do not have any physical memory address space. That's why in a multi-threading just number of threads working simultaneously into the primary memory. Okay, this is called multi-threading. Okay, the next is advantages of thread. Advantages of thread. The first is based on economy, based on resource sharing, and based on responsiveness. Okay, so based on the economy, how it is beneficial for the user. Based on economy, it will take a less time to create a new thread. So economically is good, it is very good, we can say, because it take a very less time to create a new thread, less time to terminate than a process. So again it is a better, less time to switch between two threads within the same process. So switching, to perform the switching, again it will take a less time, so it is better for the economy, right? So economically the threads are very good. Resource sharing. In terms of resource sharing, better resource management. Resource means resource which managed by threads very easily, like memory, files, memory address. These are resources may be shared by the threads. So memory, files, memory address, these are resources in terms of thread. So better resource management, performed by the threads. Responsiveness. Based on the responsiveness, still working even one thread died. So it will work still in working even one thread died. So it will not stop the execution. Suppose we have more than one threads working simultaneously, and due to some reason the one thread gets damaged or stop their working, the damage of one thread will not affect to the other threads, will not affect to the working of other threads. So still it is working even one threads die. Okay, so responsive, better responsive, performed by the threads. This is advantage. Now let's disadvantage of thread. The first is shared state. Maybe global data structure damaged. Okay, so we are doing threading here. That means the threads can be shared to a global data structure, and multiple threads access or approach to a shared data structure, so data structure may be damaged. So shared state is become the disadvantage of threads. It's a lack of robustness. That means crash in one thread will crash the entire process. Okay, so there may be chance if single thread, one thread dependent upon the other thread, the execution of one thread and the output of one thread may be dependent on other thread. In that case it is not robust, because if dependent threads gets crashed or damaged, that will definitely affect to the other threads in which it is depending on. So crash in one thread will crash the entire process. There may be chance. Okay, the lack of synchronization. Synchronization I mean to say that blocking states can be reduced and less overhead occurs in executions. Okay, so if we have multiple threads, so management of the multiple threads are quite complex. We have the overhead for the management of threads. Blocking state can be reduced, less overhead occurs in executions. This is called the lack of synchronization. And the fourth is security. Security means less security as compared to process. Process have better security, right? So this is this disadvantage of thread. In the last topic which we are going to discuss here, that is advantages of multi-threading. So let's discuss on the advantage of multi-threads. So multi-threading is very important because we are currently works on multi-user environment. As far as the human nature is concerned, they can perform the multi-programming. They can have different thoughts in their mind. Okay, the same expectation user can expect from the operating system. So multi-threading, that means more than one part of the instance of a single process execute in the primary memory. So what should be the advantages of multi-threading? So advantage is the first, improve application responsiveness, that is better improvement application responsiveness, use multiprocessor more efficiently, improve program structure, and fourth, use fewer system resources. Okay, these are four advantage of multi-threading. So if we use multiple threads in single process, we can improve the application, right? If application have the more than one threads, that we can say the applications are more responsive. Okay, use multiprocessor more efficiently, because if we have multiple processor, every process can do multi-threading, so it generate the better throughput. So automatically it is efficiently works. Okay, it is efficient. So use multiprocessor more efficiently as for the single process also. Improve program structure and use fewer system resources. Okay, this is actually the advantages of multi-threading. Level of threads, the first is user level thread and second is kernel level thread. So threads which created by the user in the user area, it's called the user level thread, and for the complete execution maybe user level threads goes on kernel area and the execution of that thread by kernel. So if the thread transfer from user area to kernel area, it is said to be kernel level thread. Okay, in the based of level of threads, there are two different kind of threads based on their levels. First is user level threads and the kernel level threads, right? In the next lecture we will discuss the relationship between user level threads and kernel level thread, right? Thank you.